We are geek-centric, and you can be too. Love ya. Laters. Bye. Get home safe, guys. Peace.
Welcome to the Geek-Centric Podcast, and welcome to our special Behind the Geeks episode for Paradise Season 2. My name is Justin, and if you're joining us for the first time, well, we are Geek-Centric, a podcast covering the world of movies, TV shows, gaming, and all things geek-centric. And today, we are heading to Paradise for Season 2. I am so excited to be welcoming some of the outstanding cast from this show on the Geek-Centric Podcast. I had the chance to sit down with Sarah Shahi, Nicole Brydon Bloom, and Krys Marshall to talk about all things Paradise Season 2, from what initially drew them to the series, to how they embody their characters' unseen histories, and what they've personally taken away after living in this world for 2 seasons. This conversation is entirely spoiler-free for Season 2, but we do touch on the events from Season 1. So if you're not caught up, consider this your warning. This is a great chat about character, craft, and just the expanding world of Paradise. So a huge thanks to our friends at Disney Plus Canada for setting us up with this interview. The first 3 episodes of Paradise Season 2 are streaming now on Hulu on Disney Plus, so you can watch those. It will be a weekly episode drop up until the finale on March 30th, which I can't wait for. I was fortunate enough to actually get the first 7 episodes of this season, and if you're a Paradise fan and you loved the mystery box, you loved everything about this world and just unraveling more, you will not be disappointed. And I am so excited for the finale, episode 8, when it comes out on March 30th. I gotta wait a while, but it'll be well worth it. Now, if you want to watch the video version of this interview, you can do that by going to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/geekcentric. We have this interview there. We have a whole bunch of other interviews available on our YouTube channel for you to enjoy. A couple things to plug as well. Of course, if you're not following us on our socials, be sure to do that. You can find us on Twitter at GeekcentricYT and on Instagram and TikTok at We Are Geekcentric. We have more stuff coming up. We got some Young Sherlock coverage. We got some Hoppers coverage for Pixar's latest film. We're going to have some stuff for Project Hail Mary in a couple weeks. We're super excited for all the things to come. So be sure to subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. But without further ado, let's get to the interview. This is my conversation with Sarah Shahi, Nicole Brydon Bloom, and Krys Marshall from Paradise Season 2. Enjoy. Hey everyone, how you doing?
Hey, hi, Justin.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the Geek-Centric Podcast. I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's probably been a long day of press junketing, so I appreciate.
We are fresh for you, Justin. We are fresh.
Oh, amazing! I feel so humbled. Look, I've been loving Season 2. I loved Season 1. The mystery box, everything about it just was so much fun, and your characters were so pivotal to just appreciating and understanding the story and the world. When you guys were first approached about being a part of this show, what was it about maybe the story or your character that made you say yes right away?
Dan Fogelman and Sterling K. Brown. That's what made me say yes. You know, for me, I received the material, I auditioned, and what's crazy is I actually wrote a letter to Dan. I don't know, it was when This Is Us first hit the airwaves, so I'm not sure how long ago that was, but and I just loved the material so much that I wrote him an email saying I would do anything to be on your show. I'll color coordinate your socks, like whatever you want. And then I got an offer to do another one of his shows at the time, in which I said yes, only in hopes to meet him. I didn't meet him, and cut to here we are 8 years later, or however long it is, and I get these scripts and his name is on there. So instantly for me, I was like, if they want me, boy, do I want them. And yeah, obviously I'm very happy to be here.
I think, reading the first, script or 2 in the audition process, I was very quickly a fan of the show. The writing was just so human and intelligent, and it had, the perfect amount of twists and turns and action that I love. And so I was really hopeful throughout the audition process, and ended up doing a chemistry read with John, who played Billy, and we were in the room with Dan, and it just felt so alive and exciting. And it's scary to want something because I think you realize you have more to lose if you actually care about the
100%.
project and about the character. And so I was nervous and vulnerable going in, and I think just tried to channel that into Jane's weirdness. And fortunately, it worked out.
Yeah.
Similarly to these girls, of course, I was excited about working again with Dan and Sterling. But I think for me, the real kicker was once I stepped on set, immediately I was so intimidated. It's like these guys have more Emmys than I have pairs of underwear, as I've said. And watching them be so cool, so even keel, so supportive and approachable, not a lot of ego, not a lot of bravado. That was where I knew, like, oh, I'm home. I'm right
Yes.
where I need to be.
Yeah, I can see that there's a lot of draw and a lot of reasons to want to be a part of a show like this. And
Yeah.
you mentioned reading the scripts, Nicole, and I could just imagine just not being able to like put them
Oh,
down and
totally.
being like just how I was with watching season one. I just needed to watch
Yeah.
them all.
Yeah.
One thing I love though about these characters is that there's so much history and history that we don't fully understand. So this is a bit more of a craft question. How do you approach playing that lived-in backstory, especially when the audience doesn't know all the details? And Nicole, I want to start with you because you mentioned Jane's weirdness, and she's definitely very interesting character. She's so unhinged, and I love it. So I'd love to know, like, how do you embody that and kind of like unravel that throughout the season?
Yeah, I think I sort of had to find a way to like lock into what her crazy looks like because I think it's too boring to sort of lead with like, she's insane. Yeah. And so my answer was sort of stillness, and that's been really grounding. And I think um is someone who is a psychopath is studying the people around her to understand how to emulate human emotion. And so that's been really helpful in scenes where I don't say much or Jane's kind of standing off to the side. I've just found myself like studying people. I think that sort of helped give me my direction with her. And then I don't know. I mean, my mom was like, "I'm so scared of you in this show.
Terrified.
No, you
Terrified.
can make those faces." And I don't know where they come from.
Your
But
talent.
yeah.
Your talent.
raw talent.
Yeah, and when you smile, it is scary. I've just got to say, it's gorgeous, but it's like I'm just like I don't know what's happening behind that mind of Jane's, right?
I know. Yeah, because she's just she's thrilled by things that should not delight. And I find that exciting.
Well, yeah, for Krys and Sarah, like you've had a history in this. We're exploring a little bit more. We kind of unraveled a little bit in season one. Is there anything that you kind of like keep for yourself, not even necessarily for the audience to kind of be revealed to?
Yeah, I mean, I think that as you mentioned, both Sarah and I's characters, there's so much more to be explored. In season two, we get an entire episode called Jane, where we really get to see her backstory, but we haven't done so much of that with Dr. Torabi and with Agent Robinson. And so when you're an actor approaching that, we're going to talk about, from a craft perspective, you build a story off of the pieces that you're given. So obviously the script is, paramount. It's the Bible. It's the most important. And then you cherry pick these bits. Okay, I know that this is a woman who has dedicated her life to service. She's literally willing to take a bullet and shoot a bullet to protect the president. So what kind of person is that? The person who dedicates themselves to service of others. So you can sort of build out the framework of this character based off of the pieces that you're given. And then ideally, as more scripts come in and as more seasons come in, you get to fill in that scaffolding. I'm married to a contractor, so I'm thinking about it from that perspective.
Building
now you
a
got
house.
the
Yeah, I get
wall,
that.
now you got wallpaper, now you got interiors and vanities and all that.
Sarah, how about for yourself?
I look at it from a different way. I try to focus, or not try, but I am drawn to what I don't know. So
Like
it's
that.
almost like, I think I fill in I fill in the information in the spaces. So I try to always have other than, of course, what you see, you're given the material that's on the page, but then I try to come to it from a different perspective, which is how does she fill the silences? What does she do at home when no one's looking? And I don't know. It's a process that happens kind of up here almost. I don't know how to describe it, but I try to always make a very specific choice about something. So I enter everything with a perspective and with an intention of some kind, whether it's just if it's just to go to sleep or if I'm hungry, but I like coming from a specific place. And then there's that really wonderful Mike Nichols is a director whom I've watched all of his movies and studied. He had this really beautiful way where he would talk about a scene and he would say you can take any scene and break it into a negotiation, a confrontation, or a seduction. And so sometimes when I don't know what to do, I'll also look at it from those angles and to see which one feels like I'm telling the highest version of the truth.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that you each have a different approach to building your characters, and
Mhm.
it shows in your performances. Now, as I wrap here, my last thing, again, talking about your characters, talking about spending so much time with them, is there one thing that you could take away from your character that you might admire that you could carry into your everyday life?
I like that Gabriella. I personally am learning to be more still in my life and to not be someone who chases. I'm an Aries rising. I don't know if that means anything to you or your listeners, but so I'm used to the hunt and the chase of things. And I'm in a phase in my life where I would like to be more receptive instead of going after things. And Gabriella is very good at being still and letting things come to her and just listening. And so that's something that I've learned from her and I'm incorporating in myself.
In life, I am a bit of a people pleaser, and while I think there are good qualities to that, there are also bad qualities for mostly for myself. And so I think becoming more comfortable with things that make me uncomfortable is really important. And Jane lacks empathy almost entirely. I have too much, and so I think a happy medium would be good.
I take away Agent Robinson's bravery. I love that, like, if there's somebody who needs to go into battle, she's the first one, you know?
Mhm.
I think about those moments in episode 7 where we're all running out of the White House and we're heading out into the East Lawn and the choppers are landing and she pulls out that gun and blows that guy's head off. Like, she is just so incredibly brave and courageous and maybe a bit unhinged, but I don't want to blow any heads off, but I like that. That she's not afraid to head towards and not head away. So
Right.
I take that with me.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time again to join us
Thank you.
Thank
on
you,
the Geeks Central.
you.
Justin.
You
Have
guys
a
are
beautiful day.
all outstanding, and I am so looking forward to seeing more of this show.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much.
you.
Awesome.
Thanks.